The door flew open like a thunderclap in the dead of night. And there he was, Ethan, all 6 feet of him, silhouetted against the hallway light, his eyes locking onto mine in the raw vulnerability of my half-undressed state. My heart slammed against my ribs, not from fear, but from the electric pull of his gaze, heavy with something unspoken that neither of us dared name. In that frozen instant, as the door clicked shut behind him, the world narrowed to the space between us, a chasm wider than oceans yet intimate as a shared breath. I was Nicholas Hale, 22, a junior at UCLA scraping by on late-night study sessions and ramen noodles. My life a careful mosaic of hidden truths and forced smiles. My roommate, Mia, was out chasing some frat party across campus, leaving me alone in our cramped shoebox of a dorm with nothing but my laptop screen's glow and the ache of secrets I'd buried deeper than my family's old photo albums back in Seattle. I'd always been the quiet one, the kid who faded into the background at family dinners, nursing crushes on boys who never looked twice. Coming out, that was a luxury for people with safety nets. Mine was frayed at best, a conservative dad who quoted Bible verses like stock tips, a mom who baked casseroles to drown out arguments. So I played straight, dated girls in high school out of obligation. And here in LA, I let the city's glitter distract me from the gnawing void inside. But Ethan, Ethan Vargas, Mia's older brother, 24, the golden boy who dropped out of community college to chase pro soccer dreams in San Diego, only to crash land back home when a knee injury sidelined him for good. I'd met him once before, last summer at Mia's birthday barbecue in Echo Park, where he flipped burgers with that effortless grin, his laugh cutting through the smog like sunlight. He was straight as an arrower, so everyone assumed, tattooed arms flexing under his tank top, surrounded by girls who hung on his every word. I remember stealing glances, my stomach twisting with that familiar envy, wondering what it would be like to be seen by someone like him, not as the roommate's awkward friend, but as me. That night, though, everything shattered. I'd been scrolling through Grindr, thumb hovering over profiles that promised escape, when the door burst in. No knock, no warning, just Ethan. Keys in hand. Mia must have given him a spare for emergencies, his face flushed from whatever bar he'd stumbled out of, smelling faintly of tequila and rain-soaked streets. Westwood was pouring outside, the kind of LA downpour that turned boulevards into rivers, and he'd clearly run through it to get here. Nicholas. His voice was rough, edged with surprise, but his eyes, they raked over me, from my bare chest down to the boxers I'd tugged on in panic, lingering just a beat too long. I grabbed a pillow, clutching it like a shield, my face burning hotter than the July heat wave we'd endured last semester. Ethan. What? Theodore's locked for a reason. Man. My words tumbled out, sharper than I meant. But underneath was that tremor, the one that betrayed how his presence unraveled me. He didn't move, just stood there, water dripping from his hair onto the worn carpet, his hoodie clinging to his broad shoulders. The silence stretched, thick and accusing, louder than the rain pattering against the window. I could hear my pulse in my ears, a frantic drumbeat syncing with the storm outside. Say something, I begged silently. Apologize. Laugh it off. But he didn't. Instead, his gaze softened, tracing the lines of my collarbone, the faint scar from a childhood bike crash on my ribs, details no one else noticed. Sorry, he finally muttered. But it wasn't apology in his tone. It was hunger, raw and unfiltered, the kind that simmers under skin until it boils over. He stepped closer, the door forgotten behind him. And in that moment, the room felt too small for the weight of what hovered between us. I should have yelled, pushed him out, locked the door, and pretended it never happened. But I didn't. Because in his eyes, I saw my own reflection, not the mask I'd worn for years, but the truth I'd hidden, the longing, the fear, the desperate need to be wanted. Ethan Vargas, the straight-laced jock with a trail of broken hearts, was looking at me like I was the only storm that mattered. The next morning dawned gray and unforgiving. The rain a relentless tattoo on the roof as I nursed a hangover that wasn't from booze. Mia burst in around noon, her curls wild from dancing, oblivious to the earthquake that had rattled our space. What are you doing here? Thought you were crashing at Dad's. She hugged him fiercely, then shot me a wink. Nick, you survived the apocalypse without me. I forced a laugh, pulling on a UCLA hoodie to hide the flush creeping up my neck. Barely. Your brother's a walking natural disaster. Ethan chuckled from the kitchenette, pouring coffee like he owned the place. His knee braced under loose sweats, a reminder of the injury that had stolen his dreams. He caught my eye over the rim of his mug, a flicker of last night's heat passing between us. Gone as quick as it came. Mia chattered on about the party, some sorority girl drama, but I barely heard her. My mind replayed the silence, his breath hitching, the way his fingers twitched like he wanted to reach out. Was it the alcohol? A fluke? Or had I imagined the pull? The magnetic wrongness of it all. Ethan was family to me, off limits in every code I knew. And me? I was the secret keeper. The one who nodded along at pride parades without marching. Who hooked up in shadows but never let light touch my heart. By evening, Mia dragged us to a dive bar on Wilshire. The kind with sticky floors and neon signs buzzing like trapped flies. Team bonding, she declared, slamming shots of cheap tequila. Ethan slid into the booth beside me, his thigh brushing mine under the table. Accidental. Maybe. But the spark jumped anyway. We talked soccer. Or he did, recounting glory days on the field. His voice low and gravelly, hands gesturing with a passion that made my chest ache. I shared bits of my lit major, rambling about Kerouac's road trips as metaphors for escape. And he listened. Really listened. No interruptions. No glazing over. His knee nudged mine again. Staying this time. A silent question. The bar blurred into laughter and haze. But when Mia stepped out for a smoke, the air thickened. About last night, he started, his breath warm against my ear over the jukebox's wail. I didn't mean to. It's fine. I cut in. Too quick. Heart racing. Water under the bridge. Or rain. I guess. He turned, blue eyes searching mine in the dim light. Was it? The words hung, heavy with subtext, his fingers drumming the table inches from mine. I could have pulled away. Should have. But instead, I met his gaze, the silence wrapping around us like a promise or a threat. That night, back in the dorm, Mia crashed early, snoring softly from her bed across the room. Ethan lingered, claiming the couch we'd shoved against the wall. But sleep evaded us both. I tossed on my mattress, the divider curtain doing nothing to block his presence. Around 2 a.m. His voice pierced the dark. Nick, you awake? Yeah. Barely a whisper. A pause. Then the creak of springs as he sat up. Can't stop thinking about it. You. Frozen there. Beautiful. Like. I don't know. A painting come alive. My breath caught. Beautiful. From him. The word lodged in my throat, stirring dust from places I'd sealed shut. Ethan, you're drunk. Or half drunk. Mia's right there. Doesn't change facts. He rose, shadow moving toward my bed, the curtain parting like a veil. Moonlight slanted through the blinds, carving his face in silver-strong jaw. Lips parted, eyes stormy. He knelt beside me, close enough I could smell his soap, the faint salt of skin. Tell me to go. I didn't. Couldn't. My hand trembled as it lifted, tracing the line of his jaw, rough with stubble. He leaned in, forehead to mine, breaths mingling in the scant space. The silence roared now, filled with what-ifs and nevers. But when his lips brushed mine soft, tentative eight was a dam breaking. The kiss deepened, hungry and unpracticed on his end, like he'd been starving for this without knowing. Hands roamed mine under his shirt, feeling the ridges of muscle earned from fields now lost. His in my hair, pulling me closer. We tumbled onto the narrow bed, bodies aligning in a frantic puzzle, whispers lost to gasps. It was messy, real teeth clashing, laughs muffled against skenas if we'd both been waiting lifetimes for this collision. But dawn brought clarity's cruel edge. Mia stirred, yawning about brunch, and Ethan bolted upright, guilt etching his features. Shit. This we can't. He dressed in hurried silence, avoiding my eyes, the magic of night fracturing under daylight's glare. He was gone before coffee brewed, leaving a note on the fridge, sorry. Won't happen again. The words gutted me, sharper than any rejection. Sorry. For what the best hour of my life, or the lie we both knew it masked. Days blurred into a haze of lectures and avoidance. Mia noticed my distraction, chalking it up to midterms. But Ethan became a ghost haunting our texts. He'd message her about family stuff, Dad's latest sermon on forgiveness, Mom's garden wilting in the heat, but to me. Radio silence. A week later, crisis hit. Mia's call came at midnight. Nick. It's Dad. Heart attack. Ethan's driving up from San Diego. Meet us at Cedars-Sinai. The hospital was a sterile maze of beeps and fluorescent hell. Mr. Vargas pale in his bed, tubes snaking like accusations. Mrs. Vargas wept softly, clutching rosaries, while Mia paced, her toughness cracking. Ethan arrived disheveled, knee brace creaking, enveloping his mom in a hug that broke my resolve. Our eyes met across the room, raw, pleading, and in that shared grief, the silence spoke again. Not of desire this time, but understanding. He was terrified, same as me, of losing the man who'd shaped us, flaws and all. We sat vigil through the night, trading shifts in the waiting room. When Mia dozed against my shoulder, Ethan slid beside me, his hand finding mine under the thin blanket of anonymity. I meant it, he murmured. Last week. But Dad, this family's a minefield. I'm not out. Hell, I didn't even know I was bi until you. The confession hung, a bridge over our chasm. Bi? It fit the girls. The ease. But now this. Me neither. I lied. The half-truth bitter. I'd known since 13. But admitting it aloud. To him. It felt like freefall. We talked then. Whispers weaving through the hum of machines, his injuries despair. The pressure to be the fixed son. My closet's weight. The fear of rejection from friends like Mia. Dawn painted the sky pink as Mr. Vargas stabilized. A fragile victory. And Ethan squeezed my hand. We figure this out. Together. It wasn't a promise. But it was enough. Enough to ignite hope in the ruins. Summer break loomed like a reprieve. But tension simmered. Mia invited me to the Vargas family cabin in Big Bear. To unwind after Dad's scare. Ethan was there too. Of course, helping with repairs. His limp less pronounced in the mountain air. The lake shimmered under July sun. Pine-scented breezes carrying laughter from barbecues. But beneath it, our secret pulsed. Nights were stolen moments. Hikes where hands brushed trailside. Swims where legs tangled underwater. Gazes lingering over morays by the fire. One evening, as stars wheeled overhead, we slipped away to the dock, feet dangling in cool water. Remember that silence. He asked, voice low. It's louder now. Can't ignore it. I turned. Water lapping our knees. Then don't. Our kiss was slower this time. Exploratory tongues mapping unfamiliar territories. Bodies pressing with intent born of days denied. He tasted of lake and longing. Hands gentle on my waist. Thumbs circling hips like he was memorizing me. We made love there. Under blanket of night. Urgent yet tender. His whispers, you're everything, etching into my soul. But paradise cracked. Mia cornered me one morning. Eyes sharp. What's with you and F? The looks. The vanishing acts. Spill. Panic clawed my throat. Lie. Confess. It's complicated. Weak. But she pressed. Hurt flickering. Complicated how? He's my brother. Nick. If you're messing around. I'm gay. Mia. The words escaped. A dam burst. Her face crumpled not anger, but betrayal's sting. And Ethan. We didn't plan it. But it's real. She stormed off. The cabin echoing with unspoken accusations. Ethan found me later. Face ashen. She knows. I nodded. Tears hot. Everything. The confrontation came at dinner. Forks clattering like judgments. Mrs. Vargas sensed the chill. Mr. Vargas Frailer now frowning from his chair. Mia unleashed, Dad. Mom, Ethan, and Nick. There. Together. The word landed like a grenade. Silence exploding into chaos. Dad's Bible thumped the table. Verses on sin flying. Mom's sobs drowned questions. Ethan stood. Voice steady. It's true. And I'm not ashamed. Pride swelled in me. Fierce and new. But the fallout was brutal accusations of corruption. Pleas for fixing. We fled to the porch. Rain starting again. Mirroring our turmoil. They'll come around, he said. But doubt shadowed his eyes. Or would they? The drive back to LA was a funeral procession. Mia silent in the passenger seat. Radio filling voids. At the dorm. She hugged me goodbye stiff. But there. I love you both. But this hurts. Alone. Ethan pulled me close. Worth it. Every shattered piece. Fall semester dawned with fragile normalcy. Classes dragged. But Ethan commuted weekends. Our dorm a sanctuary of inside jokes and tangled sheets. Mia thawed slowly awkward brunches evolving to pride flag pins on her backpack. His parents. Radio silence. Then tentative calls, Mom's recipes shared. Dad's gruff, take care of each other. One crisp October night. As leaves skittered Westwood streets. Ethan knelt in our room now, just mine. Mia rooming elsewhere for space. A simple band glinted in his palm. Silver etched with louder than words. Marry me. Nicholas. Not today. Not legally, yet but when the world catches up. Be my forever silence. My loudest truth. Tears blurred him. But I nodded. Pulling him up into a kiss that sealed fates. In America's vast tapestry. We'd woven our thread flawed. Vibrant. Unbreakable. The silence between us. It sang now. A symphony of love defying storms. Proving that in vulnerability's hush. The human heart speaks eternal. Weeks blurred into a rhythm of stolen glances and whispered plans. The ring a secret weight in my pocket. A talisman against the world's grind. UCLA's campus thrummed with midterms frenzy libraries overflowing with caffeine-fueled zombies. Quad frisbees slicing autumn air but my mind wandered to Ethan. Now coaching youth soccer in San Diego. His text a lifeline. Kids nailed that drill today. Wish you saw. Miss your laugh. I'd reply with pics of my annotated frost poems on walls we build. Silences we choose our code for the barriers we toppled. Mia's evolution was the real miracle. From icy standoffs to late-night vents over pizza. Her questions probing like a therapist's. Does it feel different? Being with a guy? I'd share fragments the solidity of his hand in mine during walks. The way his stubble rasped against my neck like home. She listened, eyes softening. Until one night she cracked a beer and grinned. You're good for him. Nick. He smiles more. Like real smiles. Her acceptance mended fractures I hadn't named. A bridge rebuilt plank by plank. But shadows lingered. Ethan's family dinners were minefields, Dad's pointed silences over pot roast. Mom's furtive crosses when we held hands under the table. Give him time, Ethan urged. But doubt not. My own folks. Seattle felt galaxies away. Their last call stiff with, we're praying for clarity. Son. Clarity. As if love was a fog to dispel. November brought Thanksgiving. A Vargas tradition in Echo Park. I dreaded it. Stomach knotted tighter than the turkey's truss. But Ethan insisted, we're in this. All or nothing. The house smelled of sage and cinnamon. Siblings bickering over football on TV. But when Dad clasped my shoulder brief. Gruff, glad you're here. Nicholas, something shifted. A crack in the armor. Post-feast haze. We escaped to the backyard hammock. Stars pricking the smog dome. His head on my chest. Heartbeat syncing ours. Remember the first silence. He murmured. Fingers tracing my ring finger. Door slamming. You half naked. Thought I'd die. I chuckled. Low. Thought I'd combust. Best bad decision ever. He lifted. Eyes serious. Not bad. Necessary. The kiss that followed was slow burn. Bodies swaying in the net. World fading to our orbit. Later. Inside. Mia caught us dangled on the couch. Her eye roll fawned. Get a room. Lovebirds. Dad walked in then. Froze. But turned away without a word. Progress. Or prelude to storm. Winter quarter hit like a freight train. My thesis on queer narratives in American lit consuming nights. Ethan drove up Fridays. Crashing Army dorm. His brace off now. Limp fading with physio. We'd cook spaghetti carbonara. Wine loosening tongues. Dreams of a life beyond labels. Him opening a gym for injured athletes. Me teaching. Voice amplifying silence stories. Kids like us. He'd say. Deserve to hear they're enough. But LA's underbelly reared slurs scrawled on my car after a campus pride talk. Anonymous texts. Freak. Ethan fumed. Wanting to hunt the cowards. But I held him back. Their hate's their cage. We're free. Still. Fear whispered, what if it escalated? What if it touched him? Christmas loomed. My invite to Seattle a test. Mom's voice on the line trembled. We'd love to meet Ethan properly. Properly. As if last summer's barbecue hadn't counted. The flight north was turbulence in more ways. Ethan's hand clammy in mine. SeaTac chill bit. But warmer was Dad's hug at baggage claim awkward. But there. Dinner was roast beef and red wine. Questions veiled as small talk. Soccer again. Son. To Ethan. To me. Proud of your studies. No sermons. No probes. Just. Presents. New Year's Eve. We rang in on Pike Place. Fireworks bursting over the sound. Amid revelers. He pulled me into an alley. Lips crashing with champagne taste. To us. He toasted. Louder every day. Back in the dorm by January. Resolve hardened. We'd face whatever bigots. Families. Fates with voices raised. Spring bloom tentative. Cherry blossoms dusting Bruin walk. Mia's graduation party doubled as our coming out bash. Sword offerings toasting to new chapters. Knowing glances exchanged. Ethan's surprise. A weekend in Palm Springs. Hot tub under desert stars. Bodies slick and unhurried. Marry me for real, he said one dawn. Ring glinting anew. Vegas. Tomorrow. Heart soared. But reality tugged. Legally. We're not there yet. Then symbolically. Vows under the palms. We did clerk's office. Witnesses Mia and a hungover Uber driver. Words exchanged, in silences and storms. I choose you. Tears mixed with laughter. Sealing what doors had opened. Yet climax brewed. Ethan's gym launch in San Diego ribbon cutting. Press milling drew Dad unannounced. Speech time. Ethan faltered. Voice cracking on gratitude. To my partner. Nicholas Anchor in every gale. Flashbulbs popped. Dad stood. Clapping loudest. Later. Handshake, son. You were right. Love's the real game. Triumph tasted sweet. But trials tempered. My thesis defense crushed under advisor's queer theory lens, deeper on intersectionality, forcing revisions that bled my soul. Ethan nursed me through. Reading drafts aloud. His faith a balm. You're brilliant. Publish this. Summer again. Big Bear Redux this time. Full embrace. Family esmores. Dad sharing war stories minus judgment. Mom gifting knitted scarves. For cold nights together. Me as toast. To silences that built this family stronger. As leaves turned once more. We settled, me adjuncting at UCLA. Him coaching full-time. Apartment in Silver Lake. Rainbow flag fluttering balcony. Nights. Wrapped in each other. Silences now comfortable content size. Not unspoken fears. 1 year post-proposal. Anniversary hike in Griffith Park. City sprawling below. We made it, he said, breathless from climb. More than that. We roared. Kiss atop the hill. Wind carrying our story drama etched in scars. Romance in touches. Emotion in every beat. Human value. In choosing love amid chaos. We proved silence. Willed it right. Echoes forever. But eternity's a lie we tell ourselves. Life twists the knife just when you exhale. September's back to campus buzz masked the call that upended our nest. Ethan's mom. Diagnosed with early lymphoma. Routine scan. She downplayed over speakerphone. But her voice quavered like autumn leaves in gusts. We drove south that weekend. Silver Lake fading in the rearview. Dread coiling in my gut. San Diego's hospitals smelled of antiseptic regret. Chemo suites a gauntlet of 4 drips and forced cheer. Mrs. Vargaslina. She'd insisted I call her sat frail in her gown. Scarf hiding hair loss. But her smile held steel. Ethan. Me amor. Don't fuss. It's beatable. He knelt. Head in her lap. Shoulders shaking the boy who'd charged fields now felled by fear. I hung back. Hand on his back. Silent sentinel. Mia arrived. Eyes red-rimmed. Hugging fierce. Family huddle in the cafeteria. Dad's prayers murmured. Plans hash treatments. Fundraisers. Nicholas. Lena said. Pulling me close. You're his rock. Thank God for you. Her words. Simple. Mended old rifts. In crisis. Labels dissolved. Homeward. Ethan drove white-knuckled. Radio off. Silence our companion. What if he started? Voice raw. Won't. I covered his hand. We'll fight. Together. Fall deepened. Our routine fracturing. Weekends became hospital vigils. Me grading papers in vinyl chairs. Ethan pacing halls. My classes suffered students' essays blurring with fatigue but colleagues covered. Whispers of family emergency buying grace. Pride in him swelled. Coaching sessions uninterrupted. Kids drills a distraction from despair. Thanksgiving pivoted north. Seattle for my folks' neutral ground. Plane ride. Ethan's head on my shoulder. Fitful sleep haunted by dreams. Mom greeted with pies and hugs. Dad grilling veggie burgers for the athlete. Talk turned to Lena. My parents' prayers joined the chorus. No sermons, just solidarity. Families adapt. Dad said over chess. Pieces clicking like healing bones. Ethan won that night. Grin fleeting but real. December's chill brought chemo's toll. Lena weakened. Admissions sporadic. Christmas in S tree strung with lights in her room. Carol's tinny from a boombox. Gifts exchanged. Her a photo album of us. Pages chronicling our year hikes. Rings. Hammocks. My boys. She whispered. Tears glistening. Ethan's vow, we'll beat this. Mom. Promise. New Year dawned with hope's flickers cans clearish. Remission whispers. We celebrated in our apartment. Mia crashing on the couch. Champagne toasts to warriors. To louder silences. I quipped. Pulling Ethan close. Dance in the kitchen. Slow sway to jazz. Bodies remembering joy amid grief. Winter quarter. I dove into research, queer resilience lit. Papers on love's alchemy in adversity. Ethan joined a support group by men navigating illnesses, shadow emerging lighter. Stories shared over late dinners. One guy lost his partner to cancer. He confided. Said silence after was hell. Won't let that be us. Spring's renewal mirrored Lena's, hair sprouting. Color returning. Big Bear cabin. Full muster barbecues. Lake swims. Dad's arm around Ethan, proud. Son. Mia's prank war. Water balloons flying. My laughter free. Unbridled. But undercurrents stirred. A student outed in class slurs echoing my past ignited advocacy fire. I organized a panel, silenced voices. Ethan speaking on by invisibility. His words raw. Came out twice, once to family. Once to self. Silence nearly drowned me. Applause thundered. Afterwards. Hugs from strangers. Validation's balm. Summer scorched. Gym thriving Ethan's rebound athletics, a haven for sideline dreamers. I guest lectured. Tales of literary outcasts inspiring sweat-soaked teens. Lena volunteered. Scarf chic. Sharing survivor tips. Family picnic, all under oaks. Plates heaped. Stories overlapping like vines. Yet plot thickened. Anonymous letter to the gym. Sickos corrupting kids. Hates echo. Post-panel. Ethan raged. But I steadied. Document. Report. We rise. Police involved. Mia lawyering pro bono her clerkship a boon. Culprit. Ex-player. Bitter over benching. Bigotry his crutch. Charges filed. Community rallied fundraiser packed. Donations pouring. Fall again. Our second anniversary. Hike to the Hollywood sign. Dawn breaking gold. Through cancers and creeps. He said. Ring twisting habit. You. Always. Vows renewed. Whispers on wind. Lena's 1-year remission party. Cake towering. Balloons bobbing. Toasts flowed dads to love's quiet strength. Dance floor impromptu. Ethan twirling me. Eyes locked. Silence between steps. Symphonic. Profound. Life's drama wove tighter. My book deal for the thesis. Ethan's expansion plans. Mia's bar pass. Celebration tears. Parents converging Seattle Vargas fusion Thanksgiving. Tables groaning unity. In quiet moments. Bed tangled. His breath on my neck. That door. Best knock never given. I smiled into dark. Silence that saved us. From intrusion to intimacy. Our tale edged humanism's core, love. Tested. Triumphs. In America's mosaic. We shone flawed. Fierce. Forever. Eternity mocked us come winter's bite. Lena's remission faltered Mets to the liver. Doc's grave. Aggressive. They termed it. Timelines whispered in hushed consults. San Diego became our second home. Apartment sublet. UCLA on leave. I zoomed lectures from Ronald Reagan's oncology wing. Students' faces pixelated concern, while Ethan shadowed nurses. Questions endless. Grief's prelude was a slow bleed. Good days of jigsaw puzzles and bad of pain-pumped haze. Mia and I tag-teamed. Her legal briefs abandoned for bedside vigils. Dad's sermons softened to stories of his own father's passing. Faith's not cure, he admitted one night. Hand on Lena's. Its companion. Ethan unraveled thread by thread nights, pacing our borrowed condo. Dawn breakdowns in my arms. I can't lose her. Nick. She's everything. I'd hold him, rocking like a child, murmuring. Then we cherish every now. Mornings. Coffee strong. Plans for post this. That hypothetical life. My writing stalled. Pages blank as fear's canvas. But Lena nudged, write our story. Mijo. The love that fights. Her words sparked journal entries evolving to chapters. Our silences transcribed, the doors slam. Rings exchanged. Hates hurled. Humanities in the holding on. I typed. Her frail hand guiding mine. Spring tiptoed cruel. Cherry blossoms mocking hospital windows. A trial drug offered slim odds. We grasped. Side effects brutal nausea waves. Ethan's guilt title. Should have pushed sooner. He'd mutter. I'd counter. You gave her fight. That's gift. Campus called faintly tenure track whispers, but family anchored. Mia's wedding loomed summer. Her fiancé a soft-spoken engineer. Dress fittings interspersed with chemo. Walk me. Both of you. She asked. Eyes pleading. We nodded. Vows mirroring our own. Lena rallied for the nuptials. Wig perched Johnny. Toasting in Big Bear's chapel. To Mia. My fierce girl love like yours heals worlds. Tears flowed free. Dances under strings. Ethan and I swaying shadows. His whisper, we'll have this. Our day? Post-honeymoon glow for Mia faded fast. Lena's decline accelerated hospice talk. Home arrangements. Echo Park bungalow transformed. Hospital bed in living room. Photos papering walls our lives mosaic. Volunteers rotated. But we core four held. Songs sung. Stories spun. Silences sat with. One twilight. Lucid hour. She gathered us. No regrets. Voice reed thin. Ethan. You bloomed love made you. To me, Nicholas. Thank you for his light. Dad's kiss on brow. Mia's sob muffled. Last words, silence now. But I'll watch. Loudly. She slipped 3 days later. Dawn's light gilding her peace. Funeral mass blended faith's rosaries and rainbow's eulogies, weaving loss with legacy. Ethan's, mom taught louder than words loves the echo. Mine. Poem recited. Verses on silences that bind. Grief's aftermath, a hollow roar. Condo echoed empty. Gym sessions mechanical. Therapy join group for loss. By men's circle overlapping. She'd hate pity parties. Ethan said one session. Fist clenched. Let's live loud. Summer healed incremental. Beach days with Mia's new chapter. Dad's garden thriving in Lena's honor. My book manuscript revived. Agent buzzing, raw. Resonant queer love's anthem. Ethan's expansion, Lena's legacy wing. Scholarships for fighters. Fall quarter. Back at UCLA students hungry for narrative's power. Panel redux. Now with Ethan's co-keynote, from silence to song. Q&A delve fate's aftermath. Love's resilience crowd nodding. Stories shared post-talk. Thanksgiving fused again. Tables bridged coasts. My folks pie. Vargas tamales. Toasts to absent lights. Dad's arm round Ethan, sons. Both. Hearts swelled humanity's arc. Bending toward us. Winter solstice. 1 year on. We scattered Lena's ashes lakeside Big Bear winds carrying her north. Hike after. Snow dusting pines. Ethan's hand warm. Miss her fire. She's in it. Pause. Then, marry me. Legal. Now Obergefell echoes. Laws shifted. Yes right's hard one. Courthouse spring. Mia matron. Dad best man. Vows, in grief's hush. Joy shout I choose you eternal. Honeymoon Yosemite. Granite guardians. Falls thundering. Nights tent bound. Stars confetti. Bodies reaffirming life. Years layered, book launched. Bestseller whispers. Gym chain budding. Lives mended. Mia's twins. Our godkid shows joyful. Parents graying graceful. Visits ritual. 10th anniversary. Door reenactment Ethan bursting in. Feigned shock. Me half-dressed. Laughter peeled. Kiss sealing decade. Silence between. Symphony completo-dramas crescendo. Romance's refrain. Emotion's depth. Meaning's grace. In America's heart. We proved, love. Once voiced. Resounds unending. Decades echo faded into routine's embrace. But life's script flipped mid-act come 2035 my adjunct gig tenure tracked. But Ethan's knee rebelled. Old injury flaring chronic. Arthritis. Ortho grumbled. Prescribing braces anew. Sidelining coaching demos. His frustration boiled. Gym floor once kingdom. Now observed from benches. Voice strained over echoes. I watched him fracture nights gym-bound late. Compensating fierce. Mornings limped stiff. Can't be dead weight. He'd growl. Ice packs mocking. Therapy redux. Physical and mental, redefined strength. Counselor urged. I echoed. Hands needing knots, you're my anchor. Limp or leap. Book tour pulled me East NYC readings. Queerlit fests leaving him San Diego solo. Calls crackled distance. Crowd loved the door scene. I'd tease. His laugh forced. Miss you. Kids ask for coachy. Guilt nah duder balance teetering. Return brought storm. Argument explosive. Words weapons. You jet off. I rot here. He lashed. I fired back, supporting us. Can't you see? Door slammed ironic echo silence, gulfing wider than pre-dawn fog. Reconciliation dawn-lit kitchen. Coffee's steaming truce. Sorry. Simultaneous. Hugs dissolving barbs. We're fraying. He admitted. Need us time. Escape plotted. Road trip, Route 66 Redux. Kerouac styling, driving rental. Him shotgun. Playlist shuffling our soundtrack. Arizona deserts baked confessions. Fears of obsolescence. Love's evolution. Still choose you. He vowed. Hand on thigh. Louder. Grand Canyon rim. Sunset gilding chasm. We renewed impromptu ceremony. Tourists witnesses. Through flares and flights. I said. Laughter bubbled. Tears salting. Back. Shifts. Him consulting remotely. Me hybrid teaching. Mia's law firm boomed. Visits with Rugrats rowdy hour practice kids. Ethan doting. Braces forgotten in their glee. But broader gales. National tides turn post-election chill. Queer rights whispers of rollback. Campus protests reignited. My syllabi updated with urgency. Ethan joined marches. Came defiant. Won't silent us again. Personal tempest. Fertility talks surfaced me as donor nudge. Surrogacy dreams. Family. He broached. Eyes hopeful. Consults cascaded. Ethics. Costs. Hearts. Want many use. I joked. His squeeze. Ours. Process labyrinth agencies. Matches. Waits. Heartbreak first. Failed embryo. Grief twin to Lena's. But therapy armored. Journey. Not just end. Second try. Positive. Ultrasounds, heartbeat hymns. Ethan's awe palpable. Dad. He tested. Grin wide. Pregnancies parade, cravings catered. Kicks chronicled. My book sequel, brood parenting queerly. Silences to stories. Birth dawn, chaotic hospital rush. Ethan's grip vice. Our son. He wept. Tiny Alex in arms, hazel eyes mine. Blonde tufts his. World narrowed to coos. Diapers. Dawn feeds. Parenthood's drama, colic symphonies. First steps triumphs. Mia, anti-supreme. Parents doting via FaceTime. Dad's visit, grandpa hail. Rocking gentle. Challenges layered, sleep deprivation spats. Work juggles. One night. Alex fevered. Car dash silence in waiting room. Hands clasped like anchors. We got this. Whisper sealed. Years accelerated. Alex toddling trails. Questions budding, two dads cool. Ethan's gym adaptive now. Inclusive programs thriving. My professorship tenured. Lectures legacy building. Alex's fifth, backyard bash. Rainbow piñata bursting. Evening. Hammock sway. Boy between. Love you. Ethan murmured. Both. Silence content. Profound families hush. Love's loud undercurrent. Broader canvas, rights roller coaster wins. Losses. We advocated, op-eds. Panels. Alex's school board pushes for inclusive books. Crisis-crested teen years, Alex outed early. Schoolyard taunts. Like you. Dad Nick. He confided. Brave at 12. Heartbreak doubled. But pride quadrupled. Family huddle, stories shared. Therapist teamed. Our silence broke chains. Ethan told him. Yours. Wings. Graduation loomed. Alex bound, Eastlit major. Like me. Empty nest echoed. But trips filled, Europe rambles. Memories minted. Silver wedding courthouse vow. Now lakeside Big Bear. All kin. Toasts tiered. Mia's from door to decade louder. Dad's blessing. Loves the word made flesh. Twilight years gentle. Retirements synced. Volunteering queer youth centers. K-mashed walks. Hands linked. Final hike. Griffith again, Alex carrying us metaphor. That silence. Ethan panted. Started everything. Ends perfect. Kiss atop. City lights winking approval. Legacy. In Alex's kids, our grand silence loves, echo eternal. Drama's dust settled. Romance refined. Emotion etched. Meaning manifest, in choosing loud amid hush. We lived human truest. Legacy's loom wove intricate as autumn waned. But fate's shears snipped unexpected, Ethan's heart murmur. Doc's ECG flagging arrhythmia. Manageable. Cardiologist assured. Beta blockers prescribed. But shadow lengthened our days. Not now. He joked over breakfast. Pill downing dramatic. Got grandbabies to chase. Alex's twins arrived spring, burst Lily and Max. Carbon copies chaotic. Diaper dashes. Our Silver Lake bungalow baby-proofed anew. No. They babbled. Ethan's cane prop for peekaboo. My stories lulled them, door, tales sanitized. Silences to songs. But health's hound nipped, episode sporadic. Dizziness dropping him mid-grocery. I'm fine. Gruff denial. But fear flickered blue eyes. I adapted, meals prepped. Drives defaulted. Love laced with vigilance. Lean on me. I'd say. Arm steadying. Book 3 brood, aging queerly. Love's enduring. Readings drew elders. Stories mirroring widowers. Partners parted. Your door. One shared. My hospital wait. Empathy's bridge. Silences shared. Mia's milestone partners firm. Judgeship beckoning celebrated courthouse steps. Her gavel prop. To justice loud. Toast clinked. Dad. Freilier. Beamed, my girls. Family fusion, Thanksgiving's evolved coasts converged. Table's testament. Alex's career bloomed journalism. Investigative queer rights. Visits sparked debates. Our fire stoked. Crisis brewed national rollback bills. Protests pulsing. Ethan. Pacemaker now implanted. March still sign, love louder. Kane rhythmic. Arrest scare pepper spray sting but release rallied community. Headlines humane. Personal pivot, Alex's coming out Reduxby. Like Ethan boyfriend introduced. Nerves knotted. Dinner our place, pasta. Probes gentle. Proud. Ethan choked. Silence after. Approvals warm. Summer sabbatical. Road trip grand, twins in tow. Route 1 coastal crawl. Stops storytelling big, Sir Cliffs. Ethan's hand on mine over gear shift. Remember first drive. Flashback vivid. Storms weathered. Fall flare, episode severe. ER overnight. Alex paced. Mia lawyered hypotheticals. I held vigil. Stay? Whisper plea. Doc stabilized. But talk turned, DNR. Living will. Heavy. But handle papers signed. Love's listed. You first. He insisted. My light. Winter's hush brought clarity, travels trimmed. Home joys amplified. Holiday lights strung. Twins giggles garland. Lena's tree topper. Annual ritual ornaments our timeline. Anniversary 35, intimate. Balcony under stars. Vows whispered, through hearts and hurts. Dance slow. Pacemaker beeping faint approval. Alex's wedding summer peak beachfront. Boyfriend Ben. Waves witness. Father dance, Ethan and son. Canes synced. Tears tidal. My turn Lily Mia. Generations linked. Postnuptials. Ethan's fatigue deepened tests grim. Congestive whispers. Hospice consults crept. But denial danced, not yet. Grandkids' first school play. We chased normals, PDA meetings. My guest lectures. His adaptive coaching zoomed. Book launch coincided signing lines snaking. Ethan beaming front row. Crescendo crashed autumn. Hospitalization. Fluids failing. Family flooded coasts collapsed. Bedsides brimmed. Tell them. He urged me. Voice read. Stories spun, doors destiny. Rings resonance. Silence's symphony. Last lucid dawn. Twins curled close. He gathered. Love. Loudest. Kiss to each. Then mellingering. Eternal. Wait. Not long. Slip came noon. Monitors flatlining hush. Room roared silent grief scale. Funeral blended, mass with pride flags. Eulogies echoing. Mine. His silence spoke volumes love's lexicon. Alex's, dad taught roar. Aftermath abyss, condo cavernous. King cornered. Therapy tides. Group grips. Mia's shoulder. Alex's calls. Grandkids chaos lifelines. Spring stirred, book dedication, to Ethan louder forever. Tour therapeutic. Faces familiar as echoes in every tale. Years layered solo, volunteering doubled. Alex's bylines beamed. Dating. Dabbled. But heart half held. Decade on. Park bench our hill. Griffith. Wind whispers his name. Silence now. Companion. Not chasm legacy loud in lives touched. Love's lived. Humanity's gift, in loss's hush. Presence persists. Drama distilled. Romance refined. Emotion eternal. Meaning love. Once kindled. Illuminates beyond.